All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is March 15th, 2022, the Ides of March, the day remembered for killing. And one of the stories that came out today was the autopsy for the young rapper Young Dolph, reportedly shot to death on November 17th, as we covered last year. And today they say he was shot 22 times. And if you recall, the first video I did on Young Dolph's death was how it was synced with the life of Martin Luther King Jr. and the upcoming March Madness tournament that will conclude on the anniversary of MLK's death, April 4th. Again, he was killed in 1968, MLK. This is Memphis basketball's 68th season. And this autopsy is released again today, the Ides of March, the first day of the March Madness tournament. The play-in tournament began today, the first four. And by the way, both teams that played today in the first four faced each other for the fourth time ever. And Indiana just gave Wyoming their fourth loss against Indiana. And Texas Southern will go on to play Kansas, who they've played four times before. So all the fours came through in the first four. And it reminds that young Dolph was shot on the day leaving 44 days left in the year, which was Jeff Buckley's birthday, a musician who supposedly drowned in Memphis. But again, the championship's on 4-4. And just so there can be no mistake about the ritual or what I'm teaching, from young Dolph's death, November 17th, to this autopsy report on the Ides of March, March 15th, the day they put it out, it's 118 days later. And that's a number we talk about every year with March Madness equating to 118. And in light of him being shot 22 times, the word basketball is 22. And if Memphis wins their game in the opening round, they'll get their 22nd win of the season. And if they do win their first game, and assuming Gonzaga, the number one seed, wins their first game, Memphis would face Gonzaga in the next round, and Gonzaga equals 118 like March Madness. And again, we'll see what happens. If Memphis wins their first game, as you can see, all time in the tournament, they are 34-26 in the tournament. Remember, Memphis equals 34, Young Dolph equals 34, Rapper 34, Murder 34. If they win in the first round, they'll get their 35th win. Young Dolph was killed at age 36 on Lord Infamous's birthday, the founding member of 3-6 Mafia. It would be a monster upset if Memphis beat Gonzaga for their 36th win of the season, but that's a tricky one. Again, if you're new here, just to and go over how gematria works. Let me just pull up the gematria calculator. It's the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. So you see, like March Madness has this gematria of 118, 46, 71, also the 206, but it's the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. See how Gonzaga also has that 118 and 71 in it? It's Gonzaga's 71st season. But it's tricky because if Memphis faces Gonzaga and loses, they'll stay on 35 tournament wins, and they'd finish the year with 22 wins after the Young Dolph autopsy comes out at 22. But the point is, like I said the day he died, it was obvious it was synced up with college basketball. College basketball was just getting underway. And again, just the numbers that were all over it, they screamed college basketball season. And remember, Young Dolph, in light of this being Memphis's 68th season and MLK being killed in 68, remember in gematria, all in the same cipher. Oh, hold on, I got the wrong slide up here. My bad. Memphis's 68th season, remember, all in the same cipher. Basketball 68, Catholicism 68, mathematics is 68, solar system 68. It's like the mathematics of the solar system, doing the same stuff year after year. Catholic Church runs the whole thing. It's why the Catholic school beat the Jesuit school in the first ever March Madness. But remember when Young Dolph died, he died 68 months after putting out the album King of Memphis, which was in tribute to Martin Luther King Jr., who was killed in Memphis. In the artwork for that, you have the Lorraine Motel, and then all this, again, right before their 68th season. And again, where the final date's on April 4th, the anniversary of MLK's killing. So Memphis, next wins 22 shots in the autopsy. We just said how young Dolph equals 34. When you run it the other way, young Dolph equals 56. Like Ides of March, they put out this news on the Ides of March, like Society of Jesus. That's the Jesuits who serve the Catholic Church. And remember, Bulletproof equals 56. He put out the Bulletproof album supposedly after surviving the shooting on February 25th, the 56th day of the year in Charlotte. And then the Ides of March is the 74th day of the year, and we see this number coded on the killing of rappers all the time. In the most simple cipher, rapper, killing, Jesus, cross, Messiah, gospel, parables, occult, they're all 74. The name Machiavelli, 74, Tupac's alias, his last album, put out right after his death, him on the cross, on the day leaving 56 days left in the year. Remember, Tupac died on a date with 118 numerology, death and homicide equal 118 in addition to March Madness. And, you know, Memphis comes in as the 36th ranked team after Young Dolph dies at 36. They're a 9 seed as the 36th best team in the tournament. It's sick how they do it, man. Year after year. Ritual sacrifice for all these sports. College and pro. WrestleMania, we were talking about with Razor Ramon, dead 163 days from Vince McMahon's birthday, the 38th prime, right before WrestleMania 38. But yeah, we'll keep this short and sweet. If you guys missed what we went over for the March Madness tournament, identified some games that look like some good upsets, a lot of solid games. Again, Patreon is where the picks are before the games. The link's in the description. It's patreon.com/Zachary K. Hubbard. You can get the link through my website as well, gematryeffect.news. Just click the Patreon link. But again, told you on day one, first thing I said when Young Dolph died, I said, looks like this is synced up with college basketball. I mean, it couldn't be any more perfect. 118 days later, the tournament, first day of the tournament, March Madness 118, the autopsy's out. And then again, 22 shots. How many times we talked about basketball and 22 over the years? So here, I'll show you a few more things just about the MLK parallel, just to go back. Pull up the old post. This is the first post I did on his death. Killed on the day, leaving 44 days left in the year in a shooting on the 17th. And from his birthday, remember, born in 85, the year of the first March Madness. The Pope's 85 right now. But from his birthday to his death was his 114th day of his age. Martin Luther King Jr., 114. You guys see UCLA's playing Akron in the first round? The LA team versus Akron. LeBron's from Akron. Speaking of Kings. But the King of Memphis album came out in 2016. MLK dead April 4, 68. King of Memphis released February 19, 2016. From the release date to his death, 68 months later. And again, Young Dolph. You see how Young Dolph's 56 in that most pure cipher? In that same cipher, Ides of March, the autopsy. Today's the Ides of March. Remember the killing of Caesar. Ides of March, 56 in the same cipher. Young Dolph, 56. Also 34, like they come in with 34 wins in the tournament. Bulletproof, his album, it's when you run it in reverse numerology, is 56, like he survived the shooting on the 56th day of the year. But see how they do it? Just like we were talking about, Everything's a perfect ritual. His birth name, Adolph's 56, by the way. And yeah, Memphis equals 83, like Murder as well. The song Murder by Numbers in 83. It's the 83rd March Madness tournament. Well, 83rd men's college basketball tournament. Technically, the March Madness format started in 85, but it's all part of the men's tournament history. And yeah. So anyway, there's all the Jesuit Illuminati numbers coded all over it. He did the hype for Paper Route Empire, Paper Route Illuminati. He put out that Instagram post. You can't provide for your family without money, and you can't make money without making sacrifices. He posted that on the 201st day of the year. Again, like his record label's 201. Big number with the Jesuits. Big number with the Pope. So He had that line in his song, Talking to My Scale, about if he dies, will he go to hell? Died on 11/17, prime number, 187th prime. Society of Jesus, Talking to My Scale, 187. Anyway, who knows if this guy's even really dead? Nothing about the story made any sense. And again, we know death in the recording industry is big business, sells a lot of records, probably life insurance policies. Hard to say if these people are really dying or not. It's possible either way. But again, the point is they're killed by the numbers. They're killed by repetitive patterns. And we, by the way, before this happened, we said to look out for a shooting in the news on this day, and then it ended up being young Dolph. And the day it happened, the first thing I told you is I said, this looks like it's synced with the basketball season and March Madness. I mean, I don't know how anyone could argue otherwise now. You know, the autopsy on day one of the tournament in the perfect ritual, 118 days later. Like, I haven't talked about that in a million different ways, too, with regards to celebrity death. But anyway, we'll keep it short and sweet. If you're not on the Patreon, you're missing out. Thank you to everyone who supports. And if you're interested in signing up, again, the link is in the description. We'll leave it there for now. Until next time, True Seeker.